Hello, I'm Scotty O,
And I'm Melanie.
and we're Think Static Hearts, and this is today's Tantra Talk. If you haven't noticed, we've moved to Thursdays at 3 o'clock Central Standard Time, which we think will be better for our viewers. And so it's now on every Thursday as our new Tantra Talk day. So, what's our topic today, sweetie?
Today's topic is gratitude. So, gratitude is a wonderful tantric practice that, if you do nothing else, learning to practice gratitude, being in a state of gratitude, and sharing gratitude with your partner will greatly enhance your life and your romantic relationships.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. It's like, how important is it to express gratitude? If think about your day-to-day life and so forth, and if someone says something really nice to you, or especially it's meaningful to you, how does that make you feel? It's like very few people don't appreciate gratitude and acknowledgement. And when we don't get it, sometimes we feel like we're missing something. So my point is that I like to even do like drive-by compliments. Like this is a practice. Like when I'm in the supermarket or I'm just walking past somebody or whatever, I'll just look at something to say, like, I like that shirt, or you got a cool walk, or I don't know, whatever. It doesn't. I make it up. It doesn't matter what it is. The point is to just get into practice of saying things you acknowledge people for. I'm kind of lumping acknowledgement and gratitude together, but acknowledgement is the verbally saying what you're grateful for in the other person, and acknowledgement is really powerful, and it's easy to do. And the cool thing about it is that not only does it train to make a difference for them, but it trains you to start looking with rose-colored glasses. Like Melanie's the queen of this. It's like when you start looking for things to be grateful for, and that's always what you're focused on, then you just become more grateful in general in life. Yeah, I'll turn it off. So what do you want to say about gratitude, honey?
So I would definitely say that not having gratitude in your relationship and expressing it to your partner, both your friends, your family, your partner, everybody wants to feel appreciated. And if you don't verbally express your appreciation and gratitude for those people in your lives, they can very easily start to feel underappreciated, feel that their loves acts of service are going unnoticed, feel taken for granted, start feeling resentment, and it becomes a downward spiral. This is one of the big things that actually breaks up relationships is focusing on negative things like nitpicking each other, on not acknowledging your partner and not appreciating the many things that they do for you. So cultivating gratitude is also cultivating positivity in your life. And when you look at everything from a positive perspective, you can see and recognize all those gems that are out there.
Yeah, and this is actually backed up by science. They did a study. I wish I could quote it off the top of my head, but it basically took a lot of people, just regular folks, and some of whom had issues with stress, or there was like bipolar, there was anxiety disorders, things like that, depression, and then they had the practice of having these people like daily speak one thing, say one thing they're grateful for, and focus on that for like 2 5 minutes, something like that, before going to sleep or when they woke up. Just 2 to 5 minutes a day, something just that simple. And they just said focus on one thing that you're grateful for. It could be anything. And they did that for, I think it was 3 months or so, and they had a profound impact on these people's lives. It's like people started getting off medication. They were reporting like much greater levels of happiness and just enjoyment in the world, lower stress. It has profound impacts on your body. So just doing that, just focus on what you're grateful for, can be profound and powerful. And that's why we start every one of our Gaia sets with G, which is gratitude. So that's the very first thing we do whenever we start a Tantra practice. And we recommend that you incorporate that into your life too.
Yeah. So there's different things to think about when you're practicing gratitude. First of all, start with practicing gratitude for yourself.
Mm.
Because all love stems from self-love, and cultivating a practice of gratitude for yourself helps you to be a more full cup, to be able to be appreciative and loving and in a state of gratitude for others in your life.
And I just like to add to that in that we live in a culture where it's sometimes people say, oh, that's, you should be modest or that's narcissism or whatever. It's like self-love is good. Most of us can love ourselves more than we do, and that everything else stems from self-love. So it's like it's okay to think of things you're grateful for about yourself. In fact, I recommend it. What I think is a great practice, and we can even do this if you like,
Yeah.
is let's say we can think of one thing that we're grateful for about ourselves. And then the other thing I like, which is great for relationships, is say one thing we're grateful for in our partner. And why don't we do that?
Well,
oh, go ahead.
He gets excited about one thing. I get excited about three things.
Three things, okay.
So let's start with the magic of threes, and we'll demonstrate our practice of the magic of threes. 3 things that I'm grateful for about myself, and then 3 things I'm grateful for about my partner.
And as always, don't just watch us, do it in your own life. This is only going to make an impact in your life if you actually take action. So you can do it now if you want to put it on pause, or just go tonight with your loved one if you have one, or a friend, a family member, your pet, right. Doesn't matter.
So what I do to start off with is I start by breathing, just sinking in. Breathe from your pelvic floor up your body to your heart, and as you exhale, sigh. And then breathe in the things that you are grateful for yourself, and then breathe it out to your heart. So if you're doing this on your own, it can be silent, and then we will actually speak our gratitudes as well so that you can hear.
And that's an important point, is don't just say it, feel it. Get it into your cells, into every essence of your being. The more excited, the more you can really feel the juiciness of it, the more real it is, the more powerful it is.
Yeah, you want to sink into feeling your body with gratitude.
And also to highlight what Melanie says, when you're starting this practice, a good way to start is like if you look in each other's eyes, to then breathe together. If you breathe together, it syncs up your emotional states. It like you'll be more in sync with that person and feel what they're feeling when you're just breathing with them. So that's a little tip for connection. All right. You want to start? One more breath.
I'm thankful I have a beautiful smile. I am thankful that I am healthy. And I am thankful that I just started my moon time.
Why?
Because it means I'm not pregnant.
Awesome. I'm thankful too.
And I'm still fertile and healthy.
Got it. All right, so let's see. I am grateful that I'm tall, just because that's what I'm feeling at the moment. I, too, am grateful. You can share each other's or steal each other's ideas. I'm grateful that I'm healthy, too, because I've had like a sinus infection for the last few days, and I'm finally over. And I am grateful, let's see, something about me. I am grateful that I have an optimistic, positive personality, usually.
Awesome. Okay. I'm grateful that I have you in my life, helping to support me in all the ways I really value extra support, helping to be the strength for all of my weaknesses. I'm thankful that I have you as a co-teacher and co-facilitator and business partner. Because without you, I would totally not have made it very far. And I'm thankful that you love to pet me as much as I want.
I'm grateful that you're my goddess, that you're in my life, that you're my partner, my soulmate, and that I have you in my life in so many ways. I'm grateful that you are beautiful inside and outside, and you just have a caring, nurturing soul that can take all of my negativity and just transmute it into love when I get into an icky mood. I love the fact that you you love the same things I love, that we are doing Tantra in the world together, and that you have a passion for Tantra to raise people's consciousness and vibration and to make the world a better place through love and sex. Because I love that too.
Oh.
I want to keep kissing her and go further, but then we use our time up. So let's continue with the video.
Yeah, so another way that you can utilize gratitude is keeping a gratitude journal. So you can actually write a full stream of consciousness about everything you are grateful for.
I know, just on that note, I know two people that did that. One wrote a journal, and every night before he went to bed, he wrote something he was grateful for about his wife for 365 days, and then gave it to her as a Christmas gift, which was not only the best gift she ever got, but it actually transformed their relationship, because he went from focusing on all the things he didn't like about her to really focusing on all the things he loved about her. And he said the best gift was to himself, even more than to his wife. And also know another guy, a friend of mine, who wrote a letter. He was like, broke up with his girlfriend, and he was trying to decide what they wanted to do. And he basically wrote a great gratitude letter to her every day, and he mailed it to her. And because they had broken up at the time, and they ended up getting happily married, and they're still happily married today. So, and I did that, I think that for 30 days or 60 days. So it can make profound changes in your relationship too.
And I know a guy who is amazing at writing me love letters and love notes for every special occasion. And he writes them mostly just by, these are the many things that I love about you, that I adore about you, that I'm thankful for about you. This is the reason why I'm so happy that you are in my life. And it's okay if your love letters are pretty similar day in, day out, whenever you write them for multiple occasions. Because guess what? It never gets old to be appreciated, to be told how much you are adored, to be told how much you are appreciated, and just go through all the many ways you love and appreciate your partner. And it can be all the physical attributes, it can be all the things that they do for you, it can be all the ways that they brighten up your life,
the personality,
it can be all of their personality. Like, just really go deep into all the things that you are grateful for, adore, and love about that person. And this is also a wonderful practice to do for your parents.
Yeah.
I know my parents, for one, sometimes don't feel like I'm grateful enough for the things that they do for me whenever I just tell them that I'm grateful for them. But whenever I write down a letter enlisting all the things I'm grateful for about them, then it sinks in a little more, and it's staring them at the face, and it's something they can keep, and they really feel good about it.
Yeah, my mom was a letter writer, so she would always do a thank you note for every time she got a gift or someone did something nice for her. And I think that's really kind of not many people do that anymore these days, but it makes a big difference. Like, I was reading that in business, just leaving a thank you note for a new customer or something can limit 20% of people do that or something like that, and it has a pretty profound impact. So just incorporating gratitude and acknowledgement everywhere in your life, in all different ways, small ways, big ways, can make a huge impact. So we don't have to write an actual letter and send it, even though it's kind of nice. You can do text, and you can do emails and so forth. And some people keep those. There's some people are like, wow, this is the nicest thing I got this week. This made my month, whatever. So never underestimate the power of gratitude.
And then going deeper with gratitude, one of the other deeper gratitude practices is being thankful whenever a situation seems tough or when you're not feeling very thankful. For example, this is a little one, but it's still one that really annoys us. Like, whenever I come home and there's poop in my living room floor, like, why can't my animals use their doggy door? This little monster right here. This little poop monster.
This is most likely culprit. He doesn't do that very often, but he still has accidents every once in a while.
Then I just get to clean up the mess and be thankful for all the love that my little monster gives to me on a regular daily basis, and that at least I have a little snuggle, furry baby to shower me with love and attention and snuggles and cuddles. And that helps me to breathe out all of that aggravation that really wants to take a hold of me and yell or something.
Yeah, and if you feel like yelling, do yell. We're all about fully expressing your feelings, so forth. And once you get that angst or ickiness out or whatever, you can breathe and go back to gratitude. Go ahead.
Okay, and then another example of something that's harder is whenever you're faced with hard situations and it seems like a door's closing in your life, remember that when one door closes, another door opens. So in relationship, for example, whenever you have a breakup with someone, that can oftentimes feel like such a sad thing, a heartbreaking experience, whatever. And really, the next best thing is just around the corner. Or it's opening up space in your life for someone even better to come along, or for better opportunities to come along, or for you to learn a lesson so that you can improve yourself. I know I am so thankful that all my previous boyfriends broke up with me so that Scott could walk into my life and be the most amazing person ever that he is.
Yeah, me too. And I also am grateful for all the lessons learned along the way. And and that's a pretty profound thing, is when you can really look at the silver lining. If you can really get in touch with, why am I grateful for even the worst things that happened to you? Like I was disabled for 6 months with chronic fatigue syndrome. I couldn't get out of bed for more than 2 hours a day for 6 months. And I was like a 100-hour week kind of guy, working and doing all. It was like, what, my body's betraying me. So it was one of the most difficult things I ever had to do at the time. And I look back and go, thank God it happened, because it allowed me to shift my perspective to what I wanted to do versus what society said I should do. I started really focusing on my health. I started living my dreams, and I live a completely different lifestyle than I used to be in corporate America. And I've never been happier. And if it wasn't for that incident to like shock me out of my routine that life that we're conditioned to do, then I just want to have the beautiful, amazing life, and with the wonderful woman I have here today. So, look for the gratefulness in the hardships that you experience too, because there's lessons and there's value from suffering. That's why we suffer on this planet, unfortunately, or that we have to have suffering. But there's a point to it.
And if you don't learn those lessons, those lessons will come back to you over and over and over again until you learn them. So if you can be grateful for the lesson that you received and really look into each situation for, what did I learn from that, and learn the lesson, then you can move on to the next thing in life, and hopefully it will be a easier lesson on the next one.
Yeah, and I see it all the time. Is like people are in, like, say, a relationship that doesn't work for them, and they break up, and they go right back to a brand new person, but it's the same relationship, because they haven't learned the lesson from the first time. So, learn from our mistakes, learn from things that we don't seem to necessarily be most 40. And same thing with people who move sometimes. People are like, oh, I don't like my life, I'm just going to move. And they go to a brand new place and boom, they create the same life, because guess what? You're the common denominator. Wherever you go, you're always there. And so, if you want to really change your life, change yourself. Find out what you love about yourself. Focus on what you're grateful for in yourself, because that's the other thing too, is that a lot of leaders and personal development and so forth, we tend to focus on all the things that are wrong. That's our kind of cultural thing, is let's focus on all the ways we need to change and so forth. But what is actually much more powerful is to focus on what you do really well and do it more of that. So just focus on what you're great at, focus on what you love, focus on the things you love about yourself and what you love about your partner, and you'll have a more powerful and fulfilling life. Anything else you'd like to say about gratitude? Oh, I do. Do you? Okay. Oh, okay. I got another exercise for you guys to do. So, in addition to drive-by compliments, which is a fun game, in addition to daily, and we actually do this daily, is before we go to sleep, I say something I'm grateful for in my partner, And then part of our practice, we say something we're grateful for just in general or about ourselves. We do that every day too.
It's a great way of getting intimate and sexy with one another.
Right. And then we talked about long-term or going deeper into like finding the silver lining behind the dark clouds or whatever it is. And here's another activity that you can do for body acceptance is to go into a mirror or like stand in front of a mirror. Right. I'm sorry, sci-fi. Okay. Stand in front of a mirror. Full length is better. Take all your clothes off and then talk to your body. And like say, I love and accept you, eyebrows. And I noticing the curve of my cheek. I mean, and literally go body part by body part, especially the things that you don't like about yourself. Like, like if I'm in, let's see, my belly, I have some resistance to. What we know is that what you're resistance to, or what you resist will persist. So if you're resistant to, oh, my belly's so big, I need to lose weight, blah, 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 then you will make sure your belly will stay big and buoyant. So what works better is like say, what do I love about my belly? It's like accept it for who it is, and this is true for all, not just our body parts, it's for everything. Accept what is in order for you to allow nature to progress and improve. It's not, if you're resisting anything, you're going to keep it locked in place because that's where your attention goes, your energy flows, and that's where your results are going to be lodged. So again, if you have body issues or whatever, just see if you can, what can you appreciate about your body? So even if like, oh, I really hate my pinky, and you're like, what can I say that's nice about my pinky? It's like, well, it's good for picking things. I don't know. The point is find something to be grateful for, and it'll make a difference, and you'll be sexier as a result as well. So
awesome. Well, I think that wraps it up on gratitude. So remember, be grateful for yourself and tell yourself things that you're grateful for. Be grateful for your partner. Be grateful for your friends, your family, your housemates, your pets. Have a gratitude journal in which you write down all the things that you're grateful for, and even see the things that you can be grateful for in the tough situations.
And just to highlight again, I'm not saying gloss things over. So if you get really upset and angry or something, usually it's useful to express those, like go for a walk around the block or get into a car and then shout and scream, get it all out of your system. And then once you're clear, go back to gratitude. You don't want to kind of cover things up. Like you don't want to, if you're upset about something, to say, oh, I'm going to ignore that emotion. I'm just going to push that down, and I'm going to only focus on what I'm grateful for. It's not about only doing that. It's fully feeling all your feelings, fully expressing life and all of its myriad of diverse pleasures, because that's what life is living, is all these things. It's just a matter of, most people focus 90% of their times on all the stuff they don't like, all the problems they have, all the things they got to fix, the stuff in the past, stuff in the future, and so forth. And so most of us can really be improved by focusing on what we really love, and so that's what this is about. It's just if you're taking more of your focus on the positive. And the thing is, the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, the more natural it becomes, the more you actually live in a fairy wonderland. It's like it's pretty amazing to me. The more I do Tantra, the more magical our lives become, the more serendipity comes in, the more we make requests out into the universe and they're manifested. It's really like magic, and I think a part of that is that because we're just focusing on what we love, because we're raising our vibration, we're raising our energy, we're activating it around our intentions, and there's a lot of power to it, to that. I'll say something else. We still have a few minutes. Let's see. So we gave you lots of practices. And I also say there's different ways to show acknowledgement in gratitude, because it's one thing to internally feel it, and the other part, acknowledgement, is actually speaking it to the other person. There's something called Love Languages that was a good book that was written, that different people feel acknowledged, cherished, appreciated in different ways. So for some people, it might be verbal, like actually verbally saying it, like leaving them a voicemail and so forth. For other people, it's time. It's like spending time with each other and connecting and and making date nights and so forth is part of it. That's one of ours if you haven't picked that. Another one is touch. Like actually if I don't feel touched and stroked, I don't feel love. That's a big one for her. She needs to be touched. So we like touch. We're very touchy-feely people. And others are, let's see, acts of service. And this is a tricky one. I learned that I have a little bit of this too. And we can have all of them, but most of us focus on one or maybe two predominantly ones. But acts of service is like I show you I love you by taking out the trash or by doing the dishes or whatever, or doing some little task that the other person asked them to do. And let's see, I think I'm missing one. Time, language, acts of service. Do you remember those? Words. Well, sorry.
That's it.
Is that it? That might be all of them. Anyway, so my point is that when you're asked gifts, thank you. I knew there's one more. Gifts, like actually giving things to people.
So these are all the love languages that you're talking about.
Yeah. And because you might, if you don't have an aligned love language, like figure out what your partner's is. And by the way, the way you give it is not necessarily the same way you receive it. Like I give my love language by time. I spend time with people, and then I feel most love when I'm touched with maybe a little bit of acts of service. And so you want to find out what it is so you can match it, because if she only feels love with touch and I'm only showing acts like love through acts of service, then she'll never feel the love I'm giving her. She'll never feel acknowledged if I'm never touching her and I'm just talking about, I'm doing stuff for her. She would feel abandoned or something versus love. So it's good to find out what, the person does. And everyone goes, well, I like all of them. Great. We all, it's great to have all of them. And for most of us, there's one or maybe two that really zing you that like, it's like, it's great to get a gift, but when I hear my lover's words, I just repeat the voicemail over and over again, it's sound. So, note what your love languages are and use those as a form of acknowledgement. You can also acknowledge people through non-verbally too. It's like when people are dancing, it's like, woohoo, like go for it, getting excited about people. You can acknowledge people in a lot of ways, and the reverse corollary to that is don't rain on other people's parades. So, the first lesson I learned on how to make friends and influence people was Dale Carnegie. That was the book, Make Friends and Influence People. It was the first book I read that really helped me interact with people. And the number one rule is don't criticize, condemn, or complain with other people. So that's kind of the reverse, is like when you're putting people down and so forth, it doesn't help much. Focus on what you love about people, what they're doing well, and the world will be a more loving, connected place. And that's really what we're all about. And that's pretty much it. So we're Ecstatic Hearts. Oh, and if you want to learn a lot of these techniques and some amazing Tantra things that can make a huge difference in your life, if you like what you're hearing here, come check out ecstatichearts.com. And this weekend, we're having the Path to Ecstasy. It is our weekend intensive. We call it the level 1, where you learn to Cobra breath and you do emotion release work, and you have all these amazing techniques.
And you really learn the foundation of our tantric practice.
Yeah, you'll learn the key things that you need to do to become a Tantra master. It's the only thing I did for the first 5 years of our marriage and relationship, and we just had this amazing love life. That and the book was all we needed to really go crazy. So check it out if you're interested, and you can sign up on ecstatichearts.com. Again, we have a couple more seats left, and I think it can change your life. And so it's certainly changed ours. It's changing a lot of people's lives around us. And that's why we do what we do, and why we have these little talks and so forth, because we just see that it makes a difference, and that's what we're here to do, spread love.
All right. Well, we love you guys, and see y'all next time.
All right. Namaste. Bye-bye. I'm going to continue this when we get offline.